The following is a presentation of the Redskins Broadcast Network.
Welcome to this edition of Redskins Chronicles. I'm Larry Michael at Redskins Park. Each week, Redskins Chronicles will take an in-depth look at a piece of the team's storied legacy. And today, we'll sit down with Redskins great Roy Jefferson, one of the 80 greatest Redskins. Before we do, next up for the Redskins, a road trip to Green Bay. Both these teams 0-1 after 1 week of the season. Green Bay falling to San Francisco week 1, 34-28. The Redskins falling by a similar score, 33-27. To Philadelphia. The return of Robert Griffin III did not go as planned for the Redskins in the opener against the Eagles. Here's the highlights brought to you by Ameritel.
Vick in the shotgun from the 4-yard line.
Fakes the handoff. Vick looking, floats it out, ball deflected.
That's a backward pass.
It is a backward pass. It's picked up by one of the Redskins. It's D'Angelo Hall. And it is a touchdown! Touchdown Redskins! 75 yards, and the Redskins on the board. It's a 20 up to the 22-yard line. Loses the football, and it's loose. It's picked up by Philadelphia. Looking, all kinds of time, fires back in the end zone. Man is there, and it is a touchdown. It's a pitch to Alfred Morris in the end zone. It's going to be a safety for Philadelphia. Looking, fires to the middle. It is caught. Brett Selleck at the 5, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Inside handoff to McCoy. Redskins confused inside the 20, inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Vick with the keeper all the way through into the end zone for a touchdown. Robert takes the snap, heat up the middle, throws it out to the left. It is intercepted by Philadelphia right along the sideline. Inside handoff to McCoy. He's got all kinds of running room. Jumps over a Redskin inside the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Philadelphia. From the Philly 5-yard line, handoff to Mars. Stops at the line of scrimmage, bounced out and into the end zone for a touchdown. Their first offensive touchdown of the night. Caught. Nice job by Biggers. Fumble on the play.
Pick it up and go.
It is picked up by the Redskins. Big turnover, opportunistic play by the Redskins defense. Robert takes. He's got time. Looks it over. Fires. Caught. Touchdown. Leonard Hankerson with a touchdown, and the Redskins score and convert the turnover. Takes his snap. Got time. Scrambles up the middle. He's going to take off. Going to the sideline. No, stays in the field. Weaves his way out of bounds. Robert back to pass. Over the middle, caught by Hankerson, gets it inside the 30, down to the 25-yard line. He's got time, going to the back of the end zone, looking for Hankerson. Caught, touchdown! Touchdown, threading the needle, RG3, Hankerson in the back of the end zone. And final score tonight here at FedEx Field as the clock winds down. The Redskins fall to Philadelphia, 33-27.
That's how opening day went for the Redskins. Earlier this week, as the team prepared to meet Green Bay, Robert Griffin III met the media, and here's how some of that went.
Robert, there was an 8-month build-up to week 1, part of it generated by yourself, a lot of hype, a lot of anticipation. There's only a 1-week build-up to game week 2. I'm wondering about the difference there. Might you have been too hyped up for week 1? There's a lot of show in the pregame and so forth. Is it the difference just going into maybe a more routine week 2 for you psychologically?
No, I mean, you guys played that up too. Don't put that on me. So don't put that on me. But it's, I mean, everyone was excited about it. And, you know, I talked to my family after the game, and at the end of the day, we lost the game. So you're disappointed about that. But the fact of the matter is, you know, we went through a hard off season this year. Not just me, but this team. And to get out of that game healthy, to move forward to the next week, I think that's a big load off everybody's shoulders. The game didn't turn out the way we wanted it to turn out. You know, you want to get that win. You want to have that first win at home. You want to protect your home field, and we didn't do that. So if anything, it's going to make us even hungrier. Not just me, but the team as well, because the team wanted to win that game, you know, just as much as I did. So yeah, it was disappointing, but it's not it doesn't ruin your season, and you move on to the next week. So in that sense, yes, it's a more routine second week. Last year we won our first game, lost our second. This year we, lost our first game, and hopefully we win our second.
Each week here on Redskins Chronicles, we'll take an in-depth look at a piece of this team's storied legacy. from the men who played the game. Today, Amanda Mitchell and Redskins historian Mike Richmond sit down with none other than former Redskins great wide receiver Roy Jefferson. Redskins Chronicles is brought to you by Diageo, who reminds all Redskins fans responsibility is a team sport. Redskins Chronicles is brought to you by AAA.
Welcome back to Redskins Chronicles. I'm Amanda Mitchell, joined by Redskins historian Mike Richmond and the one and only Roy Jefferson. This guy has a lot of stories to tell. Roy, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well.
Doing pretty well. Well, last year was an exciting year for you as a Redskin. You were inducted into the 80 greatest Redskins of all times. How did that feel?
Absolutely. It was great. I truly enjoyed it. I had been inducted into the Steelers pre-1970 All-Legends team, which was an exciting thing, but the Redskins I consider my team. So I was very excited when I made the 80th.
Mike was on the selection committee. So Mike, what were you looking for in wide receivers or players in general that made Roy a great candidate?
Well, Roy was always a clutch receiver. I mean, he was there when the catch needed to be made. For instance, the 1972 playoff game against the Packers, the Redskins trail 3-0. Roy comes up with a 32-yard touchdown catch from Billy Kilmer, makes a clutch catch in the 71 George Allen Bowl against the Rams. The Redskins were trailing 7-0 at the time. The man was always there, and he loved running that post pattern. He would catch it when that ball was thrown. He deserved to be on that 80 greatest team.
That's great, and we want to hear more about your Redskins career a little bit later in the show, but I want to know where it all began. Obviously, you're from Compton. Tell me a little bit about how you got into the game.
Well, I always played athletics. I played football, basketball, and ran track in junior high school and high school. And so during that era is when I realized that I had the talent that I could possibly go pro. And of course, I think it was out of place now, but then I thought I could do it in either football or basketball.
So you had the drive, and then you went to the University of Utah.
Absolutely.
How did that help you in your progression?
Well, it sort of proved to me that I could make it in the pros. And during that era, we went both ways. And so I played a defensive end, a hybrid defensive end, not the big bulky dudes. And I played pass defense and had 6 interceptions my senior year when I made All-American as a defensive back, and had I think about 10 sacks or something like that.
So that's really interesting. How did playing on the defensive side of the ball help you as a wide receiver?
Well, when it was time for me to hit those defensive backs, I think they understood. It was not a problem, I think I was considered, along with Charlie, who definitely was, Charlie Taylor. We made defensive backs, a little squirmy in that backfield when Larry Brown was running, because we knew anytime Larry might break it, and we went down there to get somebody for him,
Getting back to what you said earlier, that you consider yourself a Washington Redskin. Of course, you were drafted by the Steelers in 1965, and you had some great seasons there statistically. And then you also have a Super Bowl ring from the Colts win at Super Bowl V. So why is it that the Redskins years are the most fulfilling for you?
Well, it was exciting all the time, during the season and during the off season. Baltimore, I was in there and out, even though it was a super year. I mean, we win the Super Bowl. I played with Johnny Unitas. I played with John Mackey. He was my roommate on the road. Bubba Smith, Ted Hendricks. I played with a lot of great players over there. But here, my 6 years here were a blessing. George Allen made my 6 years here a blessing. He personified team, and playing for him was the highlight of my career. And playing with the group of guys that we had here was the highlight of my career.
What are some of the things that he did to encourage this camaraderie that you're talking about?
Okay, first of all, I'll say that George was really a corny guy, you know? But he was just true blue. But he would say some corny things, you know? And he would tell you, like before the Dallas game, you know, he says, I wish that they'd let me and Landry stand out of the 50-yard line and fight, and we would determine who won this game, you know? And he had, there was a Tai Shi or some guy over in Maryland that taught
John Rhee.
He took
lessons with John Rhee.
And June Rhee was there one morning, and he had the board, and he was gonna crack this board. He hit that board, and this is in our meeting now. All the guys, blood went everywhere. Bubba had to come in. It was just comical, but George was. I mean, he believed this now.
And he wasn't afraid to be himself.
Oh, I'm not at all. We had 2-hour practices. I mean, please, you know. I said, what 2 hours? But you know, he didn't have us beating up on one another for that 2 hours. And he was going over and over and over things. And that is what, you know, that's what made us good, man. I mean, we knew what we had to do when we got on the field. Mm-hmm. And that was the name of the game.
Roy, we definitely want to hear more about your Redskins years. We have to cut to a quick break. Mm-hmm. We'll hear more from Roy Jefferson when Redskins Chronicles returns. And we're back. Redskins Chronicles with former Redskins great Roy Jefferson. Roy, we were talking about some great years as a Washington Redskin. Mm-hmm. If you had to define one of those years as the greatest of all time, what would it be?
Man, they were all good years. But I think it's probably I forget, which year did we start off? Was it 5-0 or something?
1971.
71.
That
wasn't our championship year, but it was a year, man, let me tell you. I mean, and that was my first year, you know. So it was truly exciting, you know. We went 5-0. I mean, just one after another, you know, and people, I mean, this town went crazy. They were, and caused us to go crazy, you know. It was an exciting time.
Wasn't there a scene at Dulles Airport? You guys were coming back from the...
Never will forget it. We're coming back from Kansas City, I think. We lost that. That was when we lost the 6th game. And you look, when we were coming over the field, I mean, you could see all these lights down the toll road all over the area there. So what in the heck happened down there? We thought they were getting after some criminal or something, you know? Come to find out there were like 15,000 people on the toll road, over on a Redskin Park, everywhere. Now that was, you know, we go through that time. I mean, that 5-game streak. Oh, that was just, it was just a beautiful, warming thing, you know, because people were talking about George, about how he had mortgaged the future, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And here we go on this 5-game winning streak, you know. And of course, we went into the playoffs, and I think he vindicated what he did and how he put teams together. And but it was exciting. It was truly exciting. That year was definitely exciting, because between what we did on the field and what how the fans reacted, and how they, I guess, took us with them. I'd just never seen anything like that before.
Well, Roy, we have it all on tape, so let's look at some of the highlights from 1971.
September 21st, opening day. The Washington Redskins begin the season in St. Louis with Bill Kilmer at quarterback and the Cardinals favored. St. Louis dominates the first half and takes a 10-7 lead. But the feeling of the game changes suddenly in the third quarter when Chris Hanburger scoops up a fumble and runs it in for a touchdown. Six minutes later, Bill Kilmer clinches a victory for the Redskins with a touchdown toss to Jerry Smith.
Let's do this. Let's have 3 cheers for the Redskins. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. You know what you did? You beat them in their own backyard. You came from behind, and we showed we got some character. Next week, we get those goddamn Giants.
In Yankee Stadium, Bill Kilmer stuns the Giants with 2 touchdown passes to Charlie Taylor in the first period. The 14-point lead enables the Redskins defense to gamble, and they launch an all-out assault on Van Tarkenton. Tarkenton is sacked 4 times, and in the fourth period, Jack Pardee intercepts one of his passes and returns it for a touchdown. The Redskins win 30-3.
Roy, you were a character both on and off the field, is what I'm hearing from some of your friends. I think you had some flamboyant dressing, and you were sort of known as the go-to guy for fashion back then. Talk to me a little bit about that.
I did wear some flamboyant things, but my wife chose a lot of my wardrobe also. She's got to take some blame, all right? I enjoyed just looking good, you know, and it was exciting.
You had some big hair too, didn't you?
I had the mutton chops and everything. I guess I was considered flamboyant.
Roy, you have kids of your own. You worked on a TV show with children. What's some advice to young athletes that you have now?
Make sure you go to school. I mean, you see time and again the college and professional athletes, they tend to get off track. Don't have the education. They wind up having to be picked up out of the gutter. They become broke. They don't have any direction. You have to go to school. You have to learn. You have to have learning in your life, and it's exciting when your parents are the ones that are going to benefit from it. And that's the whole key. Your parents benefit from your learning and getting your degrees.
Roy, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have more on what the Redskins are up to this week when the Redskins Chronicles returns.
Welcome back to Redskins Chronicles. I'm Larry Michael at Redskins Park. Coming up on Sunday, it is week 2 for the Redskins. The 0-1 Skins traveled to the 0-1 Packers at Lambeau Field. Last week, it was San Francisco defeating Green Bay in the season opener for both teams. When you play Green Bay, the first guy you got to stop is quarterback Aaron Rodgers. A solid game for Rodgers against San Francisco. 21 of 37, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a QB rating of 102.6. Wide receiver Jordy Nelson had a big game, 7 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown. They've got a strong rookie running back, Eddie Lacy, out of Alabama, but he only averaged 2.9 a carry against the Niners. Packers defense gave up 494 yards to San Francisco. All-Pro Clay Matthews is always looking to get to the quarterback. He got to Colin Kaepernick once in that victory. Redskins looking for a win on the road in Green Bay. Here's some thoughts from head coach Mike Shanahan.
Lately, all these quarterbacks come in and play right away. You've spent so much time with quarterbacks in your career. Have we had a generational shift between Aaron and Robert?
Well, I spent a little time with Aaron when I was in Tahoe. Got a chance to play a little golf with him. Got a chance to know him a little bit, and he was really going. It was really a unique experience for him. You know, being behind somebody like Brett, waiting his turn. I thought he handled himself, the way you would like your quarterback to handle themselves. You know, a lot of class sitting back there, learning, getting a lot of mental reps, getting to feel very comfortable under the system. And when he did get a chance to play, he took advantage of it.
Head coach Mike Shanahan, the Redskins in Green Bay kick it off 1 o'clock on Sunday in Green Bay. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Redskins Chronicles. I'm Larry Michael. We'll see you next time.